before we dive into this mess in front of me, a word from our sponsor, Squarespace. Now, I just recently updated my Progress Daily website, and a lot of people liked how it looked, and this was obviously part of the new launch, which I think is going to be done this week. But it's really cool to be able to launch online stores with Progress Daily. It's very easy to integrate new domains. You can also do email campaigns. You can create your own blogs. But also when it comes to design, you don't have to be intimidated because they already have all the designs set up for you. They have award-winning templates to choose from, and everything is literally at this point drag and drop. And then also you can just hit up the chat assistant to help you with any new thing that you might be confused with, but you probably won't be because it's really simple. So if you want to check it out, you can click the link in the description down below to get 10% off your first purchase or domain, or go to squarespace.com/JohnHill to get that deal. Or you can go to squarespace.com just to try it out for free. Just test it out and see if you like it, and especially if you're having the ambition to build something new, it's actually kind of cool to just build the future you envision and then try to work up to that as well, which I've done in the past, and it's actually worked. So anyways, check it out and let's get into these shoes. Why do I have 14 pairs of shoes sitting on the table here? Because all of these pairs of shoes are a part of the bigger story of this video, buying expensive skate shoes. Recently I ordered 4 New Balances just because I thought they looked really cool. This is one of those New Balances. And the one that I actually tried out looked very similar. It was this big, bulky, cool, matched the zeitgeist type shoe, and I hated it. I'm sorry, Thiago Lemos is the greatest skater ever. He's obviously really good in these shoes. I'm just not used to big, bulky shoes. So even though I was able to skate this manual pad and do some tricks, I think I missed the first kickflip I tried. It felt slick the entire time. This is kind of the problem, at least with me, with really expensive skate shoes, is there seems to be a correlation with the fact that if you spend more money, you don't get a shoe that feels better or skates better. You get a shoe that has more technology mixed in with it. So this shoe right here, I love the way it looks. I'm sure there's a lot of outfits I could wear this with that look really cool. But when it comes to skateboarding, this shoe probably won't work. And I spent like $110 on it. So that's kind of unfortunate. So where do I even begin with this process? Because I actually ended up narrowing it down and finding probably the skate brand that I will skate for now on, after testing for so long and being so frustrated. So initially, I really wanted to skate Lakai's. Lakai feels like a very skate shoe brand. It's built by skaters. They've sold a big portion of the company, I think, to other brands, but it's still a skate shoe. It is like essentially Mike Carroll, Rick Howard's brainchild. But I think maybe because their budget isn't as big, I would assume, I feel like a lot of times they do feel a little stiff. So even when I'm wearing them, and even if I wear them for a while, it's really hard for my feet to adjust, and I feel like they always kind of feel a bit of pain. I grew up with my feet always being in pain with skate shoes. And I think now I'm like, I just need to find the right shoe. So instinctively, I was skating the other day and I thought, okay, I need to grab a shoe that will work right away. I don't want to get used to something. I just have to do this new trick, and I have like 30 minutes of daylight. So I actually grabbed this Vans shoe. It's a Vans BMX shoe. And for whatever reason, instinctually, surprisingly to myself, I grabbed this, knowing that this shoe feels really comfortable. Like, I didn't even think about it. I was like, okay, that shoe is gonna work right away. I'm gonna be able to skate exactly how I skate. So I grabbed a Vans shoe, and I was like, oh, what an interesting concept. They even have extra padding right here, which I think is interesting for BMX bikes. So I grabbed this shoe. Now, usually in the past, there was a time period where skate shoes just felt very, very basic. And you can even see this in Braille's first skate shoe design. It's literally just like as basic as you can possibly be. And a lot of people preferred this in skating, but what this is kind of a lack of ingenuity, of building something new or trying something different. That's kind of why skate shoes, I think, settled on this. But as you can tell with the upgrade of Braille's collab shoe that I did with them, they added a lot more tech to it. And I actually really like this skate shoe. I thought it fit a little tighter than it had to. And of course I have some issues with the laces, but I like the skate shoe overall, which is kind of the theme of this, is that I actually like most of these skate shoes, except for this shoe right here. I know that it's like a hypebeast-esque shoe, and obviously you're gonna deal with problems when it comes to that, but this is a skate shoe. And man, I am just always having trouble with Nike skate shoes. This one was too slick. Obviously it's like got this really chromy look to it, so it's gonna be slick regardless. But then I even skated the Nyjah Huston shoe. And if you look at these pros, they're amazing. They can do all the best tricks in these shoes. So clearly it's the skater, it's me, it's not the actual shoe. But this too felt really slick, and I paid over $100 for this shoe as well. So we're narrowing down now kind of to the last, what is this, 7 shoes, 8 shoes. Now, this New Balance shoe was the cheapest one, and this was the best one. Like for me, this look is perfect, it's aesthetic, it feels like a skate shoe. What I'm realizing is I'm also used to a type of skate shoe. So this one and this one right here, which is the Jamie Foy, this green one was awesome, except for the same thing that always drives me insane, which is the shoelaces. That day that I was skating those other Tiago Lemos shoes, the shoelace ripped in the first trick. It didn't rip in the first day, it ripped the first trick, and it drives me crazy. Now, this shoe did the same thing. It ripped 2 or 3 times, and if it rips again, which it will by the next session, I have to replace the shoelace altogether, which of course that's fine. Just buy a lot of shoelaces. There's a story with Van Halen. When he goes on tour, he asks every venue to give him a bowl of M&Ms and to make sure there's no brown ones at all. Now, I know this sounds very diva to a lot of people, but the whole point is he says if a venue can't pull out brown M&Ms from a bowl, like they literally can't distinguish the difference between brown and the other colors, or they can't follow the prompt, which is actually a pretty simple prompt, then of course there's gonna be other problems. Like how are they gonna get the lighting right or more technical issues right if they literally can't pick out M&Ms? Now, I feel this way with skate shoes. In my head, I literally think, if you can't not make the shoelace rip in the first session or in the first hour, then I kind of don't trust the rest of the design of the shoe. I know that sounds insane, but that's genuinely how I feel. So this is the skate shoe that I skated yesterday, and the shoelace is taking some wear and tear, but not much. And like I skated these all day, as you saw earlier in the video, and these felt incredible. Like right when I put these on, that fakie flip that I did was the first flip trick that I tried, the first trick, and it was a decent fakie flip. I was even surprised because I was like, oh, I'm not used to this feeling this natural and good. Now, when it comes to how good shoes can actually feel, this one isn't a skate shoe. This is On, it's a running shoe, and this shoe feels so good. Like the interior of the shoe is how I wish skate shoes would feel, and I don't really understand, I have to learn more about this, but why a skate shoe just can't feel like this inside. Like I actually don't understand. Maybe there's a thing where it's like, oh, if you have a sole that a skate shoe has, the inside has to be different. It's like, just make it comfortable like this one. This is like really soft and squishy, and a lot of running shoes are. I don't understand why we can't get that running shoe feel inside. I also realized that the less vulcanized, the less this bottom part juts out, the more I like it. So this one, I really like this New Balance shoe. I actually thought it was really good, and you can tell there's not much like overlap here. It's almost like a seamless shoe, which I prefer. I actually prefer less anything jutting out at the end here. I want it to feel as natural as possible, like closer to my foot when I go to do a trick. So the best skate shoe that I've always said on this channel, and the one that I loved a lot and didn't sell very well, so unfortunately they discontinued this type of skate shoe, is this Kyle Walker 2. Now, you probably know, like I wear this shoe all the time. It has a Velcro strap, and you never have to deal with the laces. You literally just Velcro it, and the shoe is exactly as it is until it's just completely destroyed. I loved this shoe. Even though it wasn't the most comfortable to put on initially, it did break in, but it was basically a slip-on shoe, Velcro strap, no laces ever having to deal with, and I loved this shoe. And the only problem with a lot of slip-on shoes is that they are a little bit thinner usually, and they're kind of hard to get on at first, so it can be kind of annoying every time you put on the shoe. This right here is the Japanese Asics skate shoe built for Japan skateboarding, and in this shoe, they've built everything you need to protect the laces. They built this flap right here to protect the actual knot that you tie at the top. And they have overlap at the bottom here to where the laces don't actually come out. This is genius. This is how skate shoes should be. I'm realizing also that it's probably pretty hard to add laces to it, but you never have to worry about that because the laces will never get torn because they're completely covered up. This right here is initiative. This is seeing a practical issue that skate shoes have and fixing it rather than just trying to make a shoe prettier and more technical for the sake of aesthetics alone, which obviously will probably do better in selling a shoe. That's probably why most shoe companies seem to take more of an aesthetic approach rather than a practical approach. But I really appreciate the practicality of this shoe. Even though this material right here, it feels kind of rubberish, it was a little slick. So the actual shoe itself, I couldn't really vibe with that much because I felt like it was sliding a bit too much. Now, the reason I have this shoe at the end of this entire rant is because I actually bought these 3 pairs of Vans shoes, and I've tested this one, and I've loved them. I also know that I'll probably end up liking this one. And I realized that I spent a long time skating Vans shoes. I've gotten really used to them, and I'm pretty sure that these are the only shoes that I will be buying for a while now. I definitely need to get a connect with Vans so that we can try to work something out, but because I'm just sitting here promoting them for no reason. But I love the shoes, and that's my authentic interpretation of the shoes. So this video was initially going to be just like a expensive skate shoe rant, but this sort of turned into my whole lifeline and the frustration of trying to find shoes that actually work for me. It's been a really annoying process and a very expensive process, and I think for now on, I'm not gonna go for the pretty expensive shoe unless I want to wear them out and about, because I do think that this looks cool, but for skating purposes, I think I gotta stick with the Vans. They just work with my feet perfectly, and they fit a little wider as well, and I have wide feet, so it feels good. But yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed my insane rant. And yeah, I'll see you next time for another video. I hope the sun's not too bright, but it's pretty bright out here. So thank you so much. Take care, progress daily, and keep killing it.